And I mean, first of all, I think people should not invest their life savings in cryptocurrency.
Okay.
To be clear, I think that's unwise. But I mean, if you want to sort of, speculate and kind of like, I don't know, maybe have some fun. I mean, it's like there's a good chance that crypto is the future currency of Earth.
Right.
And then it's like, well, which one is it going to be? And maybe it'll be multiple.
That's all y'all need.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the video. My name is Kevin. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. And today I wanted to make a video about this new investment idea that I'm going to be talking about and how I plan to go into it. But before we go into that, I haven't really been making these videos because I've been going through an emotional roller coaster and I've been having a lot of emotional distress.
I'm gonna get a heart attack.
Myself, and if you've been following the stock market for even since last week, or even if you haven't been following it, then I'm pretty sure that you've already heard about the whole situation with GameStop and Robinhood and all the shadiness that was going on with it right there, right? This thing went super mainstream, right? And so ever since that event, crypto in general has been pumping like crazy. And a lot of people who are famous, like Elon Musk, a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of people on YouTube have been talking about crypto and how it's our inevitable future. And I think that this was like one of the biggest catalysts as to why crypto is pumping so much.
Bitcoin has won over some of America's best-known billionaires, and institutions worldwide are treating it as a serious financial asset. But price is only one part of the story. Whether they know it or not, people who buy Bitcoin are strengthening a tool for protecting human rights. This still relatively new form of electronic money is censorship-resistant, seizure-resistant, borderless, permissionless, pseudonymous, programmable, and peer-to-peer. In Bitcoin, transactions don't go through banks or financial intermediaries. They travel directly from one person to another. Payment processing is done not by a regulated company like Visa or MasterCard, but by a decentralized global software network. Storage is handled not by a bank, but by the users themselves. Bitcoin issuance isn't determined by central bankers. The currency's creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, set it to have an ultimate limit of 21 million. No one can ever print more. Bitcoin transactions can't be stopped, and you don't need to reveal your name or address or telephone number to participate. You just need internet access. In 2017, the economist Paul Krugman described Bitcoin as some fancy technological thing that nobody really understands. There's been no demonstration yet that it actually is helpful in conducting economic transactions. There's no anchor for its value. Krugman lives in a sheltered environment in a liberal democracy with constitutional protections. His native currency is globally dominant and relatively stable. It's easy for him to open a bank account, to use a mobile app to pay bills, or to grow his wealth by investing in real estate or stocks. But most people don't have the same privilege. 4.2 billion live under authoritarian regimes that use money as a tool for surveillance and state control. Their currency is often debased, and they are for the most part cut off from the international system that Krugman enjoys. For them, saving and transacting outside the government's purview isn't shady business, it's a way to preserve their freedoms. In China, if you type or utter one wrong word, the Communist Party might eliminate your financial services. This devastating outcome creates a chilling effect for dissidents and creative minds who are forced to use the country's increasingly centralized digital economy. In Hong Kong or Russia, donors to human rights organizations can get their bank accounts suspended and funds seized. Over the past few months in Belarus and Nigeria, nationwide protests have broken out against tyranny and corruption. In both places, activists raising money to support the democracy movement have had their bank accounts frozen. And as we saw in Burma just a few days ago, the military shut down the banking system during their latest coup and turned off the ATMs. For activists living under state repression, Bitcoin provides a way to preserve their money in cyberspace, locked away by encryption, safe from devaluation, in a network that has never been hacked. For them, it's digital cash and digital gold rolled into one. And in Cuba, Nigeria, China, Pakistan, Venezuela, Russia, Turkey, Argentina, Palestine, Zimbabwe, and elsewhere, Bitcoin is catching on and helping people escape tyranny and currency collapse. In the past few months, Belarusian activists have used Bitcoin to defy the regime by sending more than $3 million of unstoppable money directly to striking workers, who then convert it locally to rubles in peer-to-peer marketplaces to feed their families as they protest the country's dictatorship. In October, a feminist coalition in Nigeria raised the equivalent of tens of thousands of dollars in Bitcoin to buy gas masks and protest equipment as activist bank accounts were being turned on and off. In Russia, the politician and activist Alexei Navalny has raised millions in Bitcoin in opposition to Vladimir Putin, who has strict control over the traditional financial system. Putin can do a lot of things, but he can't freeze a Bitcoin account. In Iran and Palestine and Cuba, citizens are increasingly able to escape foreign restrictions on their financial rights, thanks to Bitcoin. In these places, individuals are dealing with sanctions or embargoes placed on them because of the misdeeds of their corrupt rulers. Bitcoin gives them a lifeline for earning income or receiving remittances from abroad. Some Venezuelans, having watched their country's currency evaporate due to hyperinflation, are converting their time and energy and family resources to Bitcoin's digital format and then escaping. With their savings secured by a password that can be stored on a flash drive, phone, or even memorized, they've started new lives in other countries, taking advantage of a technology that refugees throughout history could only dream about. The citizens of democracies also face financial controls, deplatforming, and an ever-expanding surveillance state. But those lucky enough to live in open societies can vote, sue, protest, and write, and those methods might allow them to protect their financial freedom and privacy. The billions who live under authoritarian governments don't have the same options. Unlike democracy, Bitcoin is universally available. You don't need to have a particular passport or bank card or voting status to use it. No government can turn off your Bitcoin if it's threatened by your ideas. We are in the middle of a great digital transformation, a time when cash, one of the last bastions of privacy and freedom, is disappearing. People are increasingly relying on easily surveilled apps like Apple Pay, Alipay, and perhaps soon central bank digital currencies as their primary medium of exchange. Bitcoin provides an alternative to our increasingly centralized financial system. It gives any activist or journalist a way to raise funds without censorship, a way to save despite the corrosive impact of excessive money printing, and a way to teleport value without permission. Bitcoin wasn't as powerful 5 years ago, before it had global liquidity. But today, exchanges have popped up in every region, daily trading volume exceeds that of popular stocks like Apple, and peer-to-peer marketplaces like Paxful and Local Bitcoins have extended their reach, enabling users to sell Bitcoin for local currency almost anywhere in the world. Maybe you don't need Bitcoin, and maybe you don't understand Bitcoin, and maybe PayPal, Venmo, or your bank account serve your needs just fine. But don't write off Bitcoin as simply a vehicle for financial speculation. For millions of people around the world, it's an escape hatch from tyranny, and nothing less than freedom money.
If you follow me or if you watched any of my videos, you know that I'm always preaching about doing your own research. And by research, I mean going on Twitter, going on YouTube, seeing what people are saying about an asset, what other people are saying, and then doing research on their research, right? So that's exactly what I did here. Somehow, some way, today in the morning, I ended up in a meeting in Clubhouse. I don't know if you guys know about the app. It's like this exclusive app, which is like only invite only. And basically, I ended up in this group chat with a bunch of smart people who have been studying Bitcoin for like, I don't know, they've been investing in it since like 2013 when it first like went public. Some of the people on that group. Okay, so one of the big things that I was listening to while I was on this call is that they were talking a lot about how we're still in infancy stages of Bitcoin, and that a lot of people think that Bitcoin is already up way too high, and that a lot of corporations are going to start adapting Bitcoin. The really like large corporations, they can't adapt it all the way today because of their size, because they're so big. They have to do everything correctly the first time, and that's kind of like what's preventing them from getting in. And then there's other corporations that are waiting for the volatility to go down, meaning for the price to go down, and waiting for their time to get in. Okay, so I think because of all the shady stuff that already happened, and because of the government printing out more and more money, and inflation going up through the roof, I think that inevitably we're gonna transition into a world of decentralized finances.
That's just my opinion.
Where we're gonna actually be able to own our own assets and not have to go through a middle person like a bank or the government, or not go through a middleman to make a transaction. I was one of those persons who like always heard of Bitcoin, but never really took the time to look into it because I was just like, oh, it's just a bubble. Like it's just gonna go up and then it's gonna go down. Like I didn't put too much mind to it. Now that I know more about it and now that I done some research, I'm actually starting to see the real world applications of it, and I can actually see it being the future of our society. And I can see Bitcoin going through the roof because there's only 21 million Bitcoins and there's no more Bitcoin that can be created. I'm just super excited about this.
Now why am I in it? And you could
Back to the topic of the video. How do I plan on purchasing Bitcoin for myself? So starting like next week when I get my paycheck, because I'm already all invested into Tesla and Ethereum, so I have no money in my bank account. I think I have maybe like $1,000 or $2,000. And I know some people may say that's wild, but I live in Iowa, so the cost of living is actually pretty low and I can get by. For my next paycheck, what I plan to do moving forward from today and forward is that I plan to dollar cost average my way into Bitcoin. And the reason why I do this, the reason why I want to do dollar cost averaging and not going ahead and buying a Bitcoin all at once is because Bitcoin is extremely volatile, meaning that today it's 40 bucks, but you can wake up next week or tomorrow and Bitcoin can be worth $20,000. And I just don't have the stomach to see my, you know, $40,000 go from 40,000 to 20,000. Like, I just do not have the stomach for that. And I just know that that would cost me a lot of distress and I would just not feel comfortable with that. So my plan is to just put in like 200 bucks every week from now, from today till like the end of the year. Just put in 200 bucks, 200 bucks, 200 bucks. And then by doing that, if Bitcoin goes up, then I'm still going to be gaining money. If Bitcoin comes down, then I'm going to be buying at the cheaper price. And then I'm just going to be averaging my cost of Bitcoin like through 10 years. So, and the reason why I want to do this is because I do believe that Bitcoin is the future, and I do believe that we're still in the infancy stages of Bitcoin. I think that the government and a lot of large institutions still haven't adapted to the system. But I do think that once a very large institution or a very famous company, maybe like Tesla, adapts Bitcoin, I know that Bitcoin is going to surge through the roof. And because there's only a limited quantity of them, that's going to make it even more and more valuable. So I think our world, our society is headed towards a decentralized financial system. So I just think that today more than ever, crypto is relevant.
Like, y'all still hating. It's about to be summertime and y'all still hating. Like, do I give a fuck? No, not one. How many fucks do I give? 0. Exactly. So therefore your comment is irrelevant.
And that's my plan. That's how I plan to buy it. So I'm not gonna like put in all my money at once. I'm just gonna buy it at any price, but every single week I'm just gonna buy it and buy it and buy it and buy it. And that's gonna protect me against the volatility, because if it goes down and I only put in 200 bucks, then I'm okay if I have $100 and then I can just continue to buy more. But if I put in the $40,000 and it goes down to $20,000, I won't be able to take advantage of that dip. Or I'll probably be so stressed out about seeing my money go from 40 to 20 that I might stop myself out. Like, I might just sell my Bitcoin at $20,000 and take the loss because I'm afraid that it might go to 10,000. And then I probably will have a bad experience and never buy Bitcoin. So that's the way I plan on managing my risk. And for anybody who's thinking about buying Bitcoin, I think today is the best day to buy it because we don't know if it's gonna go down. So you can sit on the sidelines and wait for it to come down. But if it does not come down, then it's going to continue to go up and you're just going to pay a higher price, right? So yeah, that was my plan. And I hope you found this video useful in some way, shape, or form. And if you did like the content, hit the like, hit the sub, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking. And yeah, that was pretty much all for me. I will catch you guys on the next one. As always, peace.